It's time for me to teach you a really super important lesson on how to use the focus squares when we look through the viewfinder. Our camera comes with a lot of different ways to focus. We can focus in live view, we can now focus with a touchscreen, but the traditional way of focusing is using the focus squares through the viewfinder. And even when I shoot now portraits or events where I'm doing a lot of shooting, I always find myself reverting back to this technique, so it's really important. As you look through the viewfinder, you're going to see 9 focus boxes throughout the viewfinder. There's one larger central box, and there's also 8 that surround it. These are your focusing squares. The focusing squares allow us to tell the camera where to focus specifically. And in some of the basic modes, the camera is going to be essentially picking the closest subject to us in focusing on that. The way we change our focus squares is we are going to push our outer right thumb button. Now what you're going to notice when you push this thumb button as you look through the viewfinder is that one of the boxes, or maybe all the boxes, will light up. When you do this, I want you to take your index finger and rotate your primary selector wheel. And you're going to see that the highlighted box changes. So wherever you see that little red dot, that is where the camera is looking to focus. When all of the boxes light up, that is the default basic mode. Again, camera is going to focus on the closest subject to you. When we get into the portrait crash course, I'm going to show you how important it is to get the eyes of your subjects in focus. So if you remember when we talked about the shutter button, this is a 2-phase button. That first halfway depression does 2 things. The first is it locks our focus, and the second is it locks our metering. So as long as we get a focus lock on something and we push our shutter button halfway down, as long as we're holding that shutter button halfway down, we can recompose. And recomposing means that we're going to reposition the camera to make it more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. We're going to make it look better by positioning our subject in different places, and I'll be showing you how to do this. So this is a really super critical technique that you should definitely practice. Take your camera, look through the viewfinder, press this outside thumb button, see all your boxes light up, practice changing which focus square you are using, and then practice getting a focus lock on your subject, holding that shutter button halfway down, and then recomposing. This is very, very powerful stuff. If you master this concept, you are going to be a great portrait photographer. If you found this video helpful, you may be interested in my new DVDs, the Canon SL1 Crash Course and the Canon T5i Crash Course. I also have one for the T4i. I'll teach you the basics and get you to shoot on a very advanced level in no time. You can order each of them from the following links.